Greetings YouTube, Alain Unleashed back at you from right here at the Green Thumbs Gardening Channel. Today is Sunday, May 16th, 2019, Father's Day, and we want to start this video by saying Happy Father's Day to every father everywhere around the world, regardless of whatever your race, creed, color, religion, political affiliation. Happy Father's Day to you. Now, it's been quite a minute since we brought you guys an update on anything here at the Green Thumbs Gardening Channel, and it just so happens that today we have several things in our garden that we need to go through and do a little pruning on, and we need to harvest a few things from a few of our plants, and we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to bring you guys along with us while we do that. Today we'll make our fourth harvest on our cucumber plants over there. We've harvested cucumbers from our plants over there in our 2 foot by 18 inch Hugo Culture garden planter three times prior to now, and today we'll make our fourth harvest. The last few times we harvested, I think the first time we got about 5 cucumbers, the second time we got about 5 or 6, the third time we got 4, and this fourth time we have about 7 or 8, I think, on the plants that we're gonna go ahead and take off. And also our big boy tomato plants have finally given us some ripe tomatoes, so we're gonna go ahead and pull those off of those plants today. We always wanna pull our ripe fruit from our plants to encourage them to continue to flower and to produce new fruit. If any of you guys know out there, I'm sure all of you guys know who garden, the longer you let your ripe fruit stay on your plants, the less likely your plants are to continue to flower and produce new fruit. So as the fruit ripens on your vines and your plants in your garden, you want to go ahead and take those off. The same thing goes for your flowers. If you want your flowers to continue to flower throughout the season, as the blossom that's on your flowers now begin to dry out and wither on your flowers, don't be afraid to take a pair of scissors. Go out there, remove those dead and drying blossoms from your plants. Your plants will love it, and not only will they love you for it, they will continue to produce new blossoms. At any rate, YouTube, we're going to take you guys over here to our 2 foot by 18 inch Hugo Culture garden planter. We're going to harvest those cucumbers from that plant, and we're going to take you down to our 2 foot by 4 foot Hugo Culture garden planter. And we're going to harvest those tomatoes from our big boy tomato plants down there. And we're going to show you guys what we come up with at the end of the harvest. So stick around. All right, YouTube, this is our 2 foot by 18 inch Hugo Culture garden planter. If you've been following the series on this planter, you remember that we originally planted cucumbers in the back row back there, the Pickling variety, and we planted early peas in the front row. Ran their life cycle. We had 2 harvests from those, and as those plants began to die, we simply removed those from the planter. This is what our cucumber plants are looking like at this point in our planter. And again, if you've been following the video series on this planter, you recall I said in the first video for this particular series that we expected for our cucumber plants to eventually make their way all the way down that trellis that we built going down, the extended portion of that trellis that we have going down there. And as you can see, they have made their way all the way down there. And I have had to train some of the vines to make their way down there. They tend to like to hang on to this area over here where the strings are and crowd up in this area. So I did have to train some of the vines to go ahead and start growing that way. And once I did that, they did indeed begin to make their way down that the extended portion of this trellis. I told you guys that I wanted them to do that earlier in this video series because of what we have planted beneath them. We have carrots planted down there in the back row of this red and white planter here, which is our main Hugo Culture garden planter. We have carrots planted in the back row of that planter. We have sweet onions planted in the middle row of this planter, and we have California sweet red bell peppers planted in the front row of this planter. And all of you guys know that neither carrots nor onions are really hot weather crops. And when we planned this whole setup here, we planned so that our cucumber vines would run down over the top of this trellis and provide extra shade for those carrots below and the onions below. And again, it's like almost summer here, really getting hot. We already have some really hot weather here, even some weather above 100 degrees at this point already. And our carrots and our onions are doing quite well back there. We expect for them to make it through the entire summer grow season here and into the fall, and we're going to harvest those this fall. regardless of how hot it gets here, we expect for them to survive back there in that back row back there, because we have the cucumber vines shadowing them from overhead, and plus this particular garden planter here only gets about 4.5 to 5 hours of direct sunlight on any given day. At any rate, YouTube, we're gonna get you guys over here to our cucumber plants, and we're gonna peek behind some of these leaves and through these vines and show you guys what we're gonna actually take off of these plants. And our cucumber plants are hanging in here. They're looking pretty good, but it's not because we haven't had any issues with them. We come out here on virtually a daily basis and we remove dead and dying foliage. We inspect our plants for pests of any kind. We remove dead and drying blossoms. We remove blossoms and fruit that actually didn't get pollinated. If you know anything about growing cucumbers, regardless of how many cucumbers actually appear on your vines at first, if those cucumbers don't in fact get pollinated by bees, hand pollination, other means, the air, the wind, those cucumbers will in fact turn yellow, dry up, and they will fall off your vines. So on any given day, we come out here and we inspect our cucumber plants. We remove dead foliage such as dying foliage such as like these leaves here. We're gonna come out here later on today after it cools way down and remove leaves such as this that we don't need. They're not really contributing anything to this plant goals right now. And as you all know, pests and insects, they target weak and diseased foliage. So you want to take that off of your plants. And not only will that make your plants healthier, it will encourage your plants to produce new foliage. So don't be afraid to prune your plants. I cannot stress that enough. Prune your plants. At any rate, let's take you guys over in here and give you a peek at some of what we're going to take off these plants today. We have a couple of nice cucumbers hanging there. As you guys know, we always remove the ones that are deformed on the end. We told you guys they would not reach full size. So you can take those guys off at any point during their development on your plants. They taste just as fine, but they're just not going to fully develop to the full size. Say it's the one behind it back there. They're not going to get that that size back there because of the fact that they are indeed deformed here on this end. So we're going to take those two right there off. We'll probably let that guy stay on there another day too. We'll take that one off down there. Let's see what else we got going on. That's a small one there. We'll take that one off down there. We'll let that one stay on a little while. And all right, YouTube, we'll bring you guys back and show you exactly how many cucumbers we took off this plant, and show you what our plant looks like after we go ahead and take those dead and dying leaves off of our plants to keep them healthy and producing new blossoms and new foliage. So hang tight. All right, YouTube, this is our 2-foot by 4-foot hugelkultur garden planter in which we planted broccoli, as you can see here in this front row, and I can't be more pleased with the results of what we have right now as far as our broccoli goes. We planted mint in the second row. I'm going to take you guys in for a close-up of that mint to show you that it is indeed doing fine. If you guys know anything about mint, you got to be careful with this mint. This mint will take over the entire world if you allow it to, and that's why we have it actually in this planter. As you know, mint will seed itself and reseed itself and reseed itself, and eventually, if you don't control mint, it will be everywhere. It is a good rodent repellent and other things in your garden, and that's mainly the reason why we planted it here in our garden. But our mint is indeed looking good. But this part of this video is not about either this broccoli or the mint back there in that second row. This portion of this video is actually about these big boy tomato plants. And as you can see, we've got a few ripe tomatoes on these plants. These plants are indeed loaded down, YouTube. I cannot stress that enough. I've had to come through several times and restring and retie and re-strengthen our support system for these tomato plants, because the tomatoes are indeed getting huge on the vines. New ones are constantly developing. We're constantly seeing new blossoms forming on these plants. We've pruned them several times, and we still have some quite large plants after all of the pruning and removal of the foliage below. We had a tremendous increase in the amount of tomatoes that were being produced by our plants, but in the overall health of the plants themselves. So we have about 3 tomatoes here, as you can see, on these plants that we're going to go ahead and take off. And I'm going to take you in close and show you guys one of the issues we had when we got all of that rain here. We got 5 straight days of rain here recently, and we had some issues with some of our fruit splitting a little bit, but that's a-okay. We know that that in no way affects the flavor of the fruit or the flesh or anything like that. So we're actually going to go ahead and harvest this guy, that one there, and the one over there in the back. And we're going to do that because I have seen several different types of pests on my tomato plants. I come out here every single day, morning and evening, at least twice a day, and inspect both the tomatoes and the broccoli. Because I have had a few minor issues with the broccoli also. So knowing that we do indeed have pests, and they tend to target either new growth on our plants or ripening fruit, we're gonna go ahead on and remove those 3. We have several more that we expect to be harvesting over the next several days, and we'll bring you guys back for each individual harvest that we do on both these big boy tomato plants and our cucumber plants. We left several over there on the vines over there that we expect to be harvesting sometime within the next 2 to 3 days, and we'll bring you guys back for and harvest on those also. At any rate, we're gonna go ahead and take these 3 off and show you guys what our overall harvest looks like today, Father's Day 2019. So hang tight, YouTube. All right, YouTube, we're done harvesting both our pickling cucumbers and our big boy tomatoes, and we're gonna give you guys a quick look at how many fruit we removed from our plants and what size those fruit were. Hang tight. All right, YouTube. So here's what we're looking like after harvesting both our pickling cucumbers and our big boy tomatoes. Take a look at this, YouTube. Overall, we harvested a total of 7 cucumbers from our plants out there and 3 tomatoes, and we're really pleased with the results of actually this experimental gardening we were doing here in our Hugo garden planter. This was our first year planting cucumbers in a small confined space like that, in a 2-foot by 18-inch Hugo garden planter. And it's also our first time planting tomatoes, big boy tomatoes, in such a small space with a lot of other plants in the Hugo garden planter like that. There's actually in our 2-foot by 4-foot Hugo garden planter, in which we have broccoli, mint, and big boy tomatoes. There's actually a total of 33 plants planted in that 2-foot by 4-foot space. And here in our cucumber planter, that 2-foot by 18-inch Hugo garden planter, there was originally 20 plants planted in that planter altogether. As we told you earlier in this video, we removed our early peas once they ran their life cycle. We did get 2 harvests off of those. We were pleased with the results of what we got from those. And again, this is the results of our 4th harvest on our slicing cucumbers and our 1st harvest of our big boy tomatoes. This is Father's Day 2019. Again, happy Father's Day to every father out there around the world. I want to give a special thanks to each and every one of you guys and gals out there who are currently subscribed to our channel, who have recently subscribed to our channel, who have been supporting our channel for quite some time. We really, really, really appreciate you guys, and we're going to bring you guys along for every harvest from now throughout the rest of our growth season here in Tifton, Georgia. And if you're watching this video and you're not already subscribed to our channel, press that like button beneath this video, the subscribe button, the notification button, and if you don't mind, share this video with your friends and family. Thanks, we really, really appreciate it. I miss you every day. Still can't believe you've gone away. This one goes out to Johnny Harrison, I miss you, man. My daddy, I still ask the Lord to help me understand. I know he's got a plan for every man, I miss you still. And I know that nothing happens unless it's according to his will. 2 days before you passed away, we had our last talk. And you said I love you to me, son, as I was